Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we are doing 1985's Back to the Future. This was requested by Jim on Patreon. As a matter of fact, I think Jim requested all of the Back to the Futures. So here over the next several weeks, we'll be doing obviously this one. We'll be doing the second one and the third one, I believe. So
I'll give you a hot tip right here and right now. I will do all the reviews right now for Jim. This is the free one. You ready?
Go.
After they stop with the mom fucking the son stuff, downhill.
All downhill from there.
Downhill.
Yep. You lost your story, guy.
Yep.
So if you want to join us on Patreon and join the Patreon crew for movie watches and reviews with actual movie clips, because we don't do that on the YouTubes, you could join us on Patreon. We do giveaways and all kinds of crazy cool shit. So join us on Patreon and let's get to the cast of 1985's Back to the Future. This film stars Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Emmett Brown, Lea Thompson as Lorraine Baines, Crispin Glover as George McFly, and Tom Wilson as Biff Tannen. Well, let's get right into this one now. So we'll cut to the beginning of this movie because the movie opens visually setting up Doc Brown's character at his place with all of his alarms going off, the news turning on with the stolen plutonium story.
This is how Armando felt buying a clock at Walmart today.
I guess. Absolutely. We also see Marty coming over on a skateboard because it's 85 to his old man friend's place to play his guitar on the experimental amp and the speaker that Doc built for him. And he gets blown across the room. This is obviously the scene that everybody remembers from the beginning of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question about this opening scene. I have a question about a lot. There's obviously plot holes. Even though this is a great movie, there's a lot of plot holes in this thing.
Yeah, man. It's dicey time travel logic all around.
Absolutely. But Marty comes over, right? And he's like, oh, I'm going to play my guitar, my tiny bullshit 85 guitar, and get blown across the room because I want to, I love music. Cool. When he gets there, right, he gets this call after he blows himself up with the speaker. He gets the call from Doc, who tells Marty, like, Marty, meet me at the mall at 1:15 a.m. So Marty's like, cool. And he's like, oh, did the alarms go off? Yeah, they're all 25 minutes slow. And Marty's like, oh my God, 25 minutes slow. That means I'm late for school. You got there 5 seconds ago. You were already fucking late for school on the way there.
Yeah, Marty has typical teenage no concept of time, and it goes through the whole movie. He's late for everything.
Yes.
So the continuity's right there. At least I'll give him credit for that. Like, he is a teenager. I
hate that he realizes it's 8:25 and not 8 o'clock 3 seconds after walking into Doc Brown's office because Doc tells him, his old man friend tells him that the clocks are slow. And it was like, bitch, when you left the fucking house, you were already goddamn a half an hour late, guy.
Dude, you're going to be super disappointed when you find out time travel isn't real either.
Yeah.
DeLoreans existed for like 30 seconds. There's no way Doc Brown was procuring a fucking DeLorean. There's no way.
I don't believe you.
If we're getting into this kind of logic, it's going to be a long fucking show, dog.
I don't believe you. DeLoreans are still around. We just don't see them anymore.
No,
and they are all out. because they're all time machines and everybody's hiding them. Okay?
They're flying above us right now. Those are the UAVs everybody's worried about.
Yes. I don't know why they're flying over Jersey. Well, I do know why. Because only the people in Jersey bought them. Yeah. But they turned them all into fucking time machines, and now they're flying over Jersey.
Cool. Explained away. Logic covered.
There you go. Crush that one.
Yeah.
So Marty here gets to school. He has a run-in with Mr. Strickland, his principal, and he then goes to auditions for the school's talent show, and his band gets rejected for being too loud.
Yeah. And if you've ever listened to, everybody's like, oh, Huey Lewis is rejecting his own song. Yeah. Because have you ever heard Huey Lewis play? He would never play that song like that. Ever, 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 ever.
By the way, if you look at Huey Lewis when he's doing like, you're too loud, son, in the background, there's literally nothing but hair metal guys and spandex and drums and guitars as far as the fucking eye can see.
Yeah,
There's
80s
no
high school bands.
There's no jugglers, there's no mimes. How many people are going to be in this talent show if Michael J. Fox in his band of soft rock Huey Lewis is too loud? What the fuck are the rest of these guys doing?
They're doing Whitesnake ballads, bro. Duh.
They're all too loud.
It's all ballad rock, though, man. It's awesome. And Huey Lewis makes his judgment very quickly. And all those soft rock ballads, they start very slowly. Yeah. And it's not until the interlude that you get the good hard guitar solo.
There you go.
See November Rain, as an example.
I just think that Marty is a shit guitar player, and Huey Lewis was like, I know guitar players, and you're garbage. So we're just gonna cut this all out. We're done. We're done with you, Marty.
That's the second time for no guitar notes that you've made 2 guitar mentions.
I just said he was a shitty guitar player. That's all I said.
That's okay. I'm just keeping track for you because I know you didn't keep them in your notes. So I just want you to know.
You were correct.
So Marty here gets home to find his parents' cars wrecked by Biff, who is bullying his dad inside about a blind spot. And he's been bullying George since high school. And now he's like George McFly's boss at work. I don't like this town. I'm just going to go on record and say that.
Oh, this town is like a day away from having the Sons of Anarchy just take it over. It's disgusting.
Listen, I talked to like, I don't know, maybe 2 people from high school, maybe. The fact that all these bitches, like, they went to high school, they grew up, now you're working for them, and there's, gross.
Everybody in this town is white trash.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
even Jennifer's father is disgusting because he pulls up and catches them about to kiss, and he's like, Jennifer, time to go. And she's like, I gotta go. And she's still allowed to kiss her boyfriend. I didn't grow up posh, and I'll tell you right now, every father in the world would stomp me the fuck out if I kissed their daughter in front of them.
Oh, in 85? Yeah. 100%.
No way.
You'd catch like the butt of a gun into your jaw.
Yeah.
But
no good.
We also get to see the sad state of affairs of Marty's family. And we get the whole backstory on how Marty's parents met, and his dad got hit by the car and yada yada, which foreshadowing. But you mentioned that like this whole town is white trash. His family is complete and utter trash.
Yep. They are the definition of white trash.
The mom, the sister, the brother, his dad, like everybody. And my favorite part is George McFly is just kind of like living in his own world.
Oh yeah. If this family were a reality show, it'd be called Growing Up Sacramento. This is just fucking garbage.
You were right.
California trash is just different, dude.
California trash is different for sure. But Marty then goes to the mall parking lot. He's late for that too, by the way. But yeah. Marty goes to the mall parking lot. to meet Doc Brown, who shows him that he built the time machine out of a DeLorean. And he tells Marty that he's the one he basically stole the plutonium that was on the news from the Libyans. And I know I've mentioned this. I know this is a long-standing joke that Marty is friends with this old crazy fucking doctor guy, right? And that's just a weird relationship. The age gap's a weird relationship. Like how, I don't know how the fuck these two like met and became friends, but also he's not just this crazy doctor. He's stealing plutonium from Libyans. Like he's a psychopath.
Yeah, everybody is literally telling this kid to stay away from him, and he does not fucking care.
No.
He is about it. And everybody has very good reason to be telling him to stay away from Doc Brown. He's out of his fucking gourd.
Yes. And I mean, just look at him. He's one bad mushroom trip away from fucking going full on bonkers.
The one thing that really made me miss the 80s was how simple everything was. It's just like, who stole the plutonium? Oh, fucking Libyans. Who gives a shit? It didn't matter.
No.
Just name drop somebody. I don't know, who bombed something this week? The Libyans? Fucking let's go.
Let's do it. And by the way, I know I said earlier that like there was no Italians in this movie in 1955, so apparently they didn't exist in this universe. They did exist. They hired them to be the two Libyans to try here.
Exactly. They're fucking like, I knew what it was. It was Italian. Fucking disgrazia.
Dude,
it was so bad.
I love the Libyan speaking Libyan, and then there's gun jams, and he's like, "Go!" Like he yells, "Go!" Go! But we do get the Libyans showing up here to kill Doc Brown because he was supposed to steal the plutonium, like use the plutonium to build a bomb or some shit, and he just stole it. So they shoot Doc. Marty tries to get away in the DeLorean, but accidentally triggers the time machine by going 88 miles an hour and goes back to November 5th, 1955, the day that Doc invented time travel, or at least came up with the flux capacitor.
And here's my one recommendation for anybody that's like, let's see if you bastards can do 90. That fucking rocket can do 90. Bad idea to keep just driving straight.
Can we also admit that the VW fucking bus that they're driving couldn't do 45, let alone 90?
Facts.
You were right.
By the way, the very first turn Marty makes in the DeLorean, where the ass end kicks out and like he's just trying to fucking reverse his field. That V-dub is tipping over. Okay. Oh. It's also not kicking its back end out and fucking going to the thing.
If I'm Doc Brown, I build them a little bomb because they're only going to blow up themselves. They can't drive this VW bus, and they think, one, that's the good attack vehicle.
Yeah.
Even Somalians use pickup trucks. Like, come on, dude. That's bad. You're in America now. You could buy a van. Like, rape vans were the rage in the 80s. You get that.
You can get a wolf stenciled on the side of it. Like,
exactly. You little badass coming up to you. You're killing, but no.
That's right. The little bubble window that looks like a moon.
Yep.
You know, whatever.
Exactly. That's a shooting hole. That's what nobody realized about those.
Exactly.
So they fucked up the van. They can't shoot their AK. They can't fire a rocket at a car going straight in front of them.
Yes.
Build them the bomb. They're going to blow. Like, build them a tiny bomb, and they're just going to blow themselves up.
Or
problem solved.
Build a huge casing with a bunch of like whatever inside, and just use one. There's like 12. He got a 12-pack of plutonium. Just take one. Just take one of your beers, guy. You got 11 beers left. Okay. Just take one plutonium, please. Just put one plutonium in it. You send that over, and now you got this much to do your time travel. Listen, none of these plans that any of these people have in this movie are any good. Okay, we'll
And I'll tell
preface
you
that.
what, you're playing shit too, because I'm not ditching a beer when I can get for 25 cents that slime they sold in the 80s out of little things. That's what I'm using as plutonium.
That's
I'm spending
also
50
fair.
cents. I got you all the plutonium you want, homie. Look, it stretches and everything. And then I throw it on them and freak them out. They'd be like, oh shit, and fucking try and shoot themselves, but the gun would jam because they suck at everything.
Corey putting Nickelodeon slime and fucking in bombs.
Fucking
So
A, bro.
Marty then goes back. Now he's in 1955. He crashes into the Peabody's barn and gets shot at and chased away. He drives back to his neighborhood to go back home to find that there is no neighborhood and it's in the process of being built. So he hides the DeLorean and he goes to Hill Valley where he tries to figure out what the hell is going on. He realizes it's 1955 and he then tries to find Doc Brown.
Yep. Which is all he should have done.
Immediately.
Find Doc Brown and do nothing else.
Yep, exactly.
No.
Well, and then you get the setup for everything else because he goes to the diner to use like the telephone or whatever and look through the white pages for Doc Brown's address and phone number or whatever. So while he's in the diner, he runs into his dad, George, who's in high school. He's getting bullied by Biff. So now immediately he's like already in the grips of this whole thing where Biff knows who he is immediately now because he can't stop staring. George McFly knows who he is. He's chasing after George after the whole diner scene because he was like, oh, that's my dad.
The future mayor knows who he is because he's the one that gave him the idea to run for mayor in the first place. Which, yes. By the way, based on how Hill Valley looked in 1985, zip it, Marty. This guy should not be mayor. He's terrible.
No, Marty fucks everybody's life here from Jump Street.
Yeah, dude. He's dipping his toe in, and it doesn't work out well for anybody but the McFlys, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So George leaves the diner. Marty goes to look for him and finds his dad peeping from a tree. And when he falls out of the tree, Marty saves him and he gets hit by Lorraine's dad's car. And he basically takes the place of his father because now his mom wants to bang him. Corey's life lessons.
Hi, everyone. Uncle Corey. So you traveled back in time and you turned out your dad's a bit of a pervert. Don't save him. It doesn't matter that he's your dad. This isn't Dexter. Let him get fucking run over by a car. He's a pervert. End of the fucking discussion.
You were correct.
By the way, 2 scenes ago, they literally just told you what happened in front of her house. And I get it. You're a little discombobulated. But your dad's about to get hit by a car. Just let him get hit.
In fairness, he's not listening to what they're saying to him. His dad's fucking scarfing peanut brittle and laughing like a fucking mentally disabled hyena. Oh no. And his mom's just chain smoking, baking cakes for an uncle that's never going to show up. Just
yes,
he's just trying to get through the night at this point. He's basically Kenny from South Park.
Yes, very true. But he wakes up in Lorraine's bed. He's sexually assaulted, we'll call it, by his high school aged mom.
Yep.
And he then has this awkward dinner with Lorraine's family. And as Lorraine tries to do hand stuff with him under the table.
Yeah. All accurate.
Yes.
By the way, I'd let Lorraine do hand stuff too.
What the fuck?
So Marty finally finds Doc. He convinces him that he's from the future. Doc needs to help him get home. And with no plutonium, they devise a plan to somehow get the bolt of lightning that's supposed to hit the clock tower in a week to power the DeLorean so he can get back home. And during that week, he has to make sure that his parents end up dating and falling in love because his dad was the one that was supposed to get hit by her dad's car, and that was all supposed to happen. And he already fucked the timeline already.
Oh yeah, he's just by walking around, he's ruining everything.
Yes. Which, honestly, he probably made at this point, if he just, I don't know, were to go away or just go back to the future like right now, okay, sure, he probably wouldn't exist. But everybody else's life in this town would have been much better.
Well, except for George McFly's, because this kid's on the fast track to being the first school shooter in U.S. history.
Yes, absolutely.
His life sucks.
Yeah. He's either going to be him or Stephen King. I don't think there's any in between.
Oh yeah, and I think the only way fucking Lorraine and George really ended up together, like Doc Brown's like, oh, it's the Florence Nightingale effect. No, it's not. It's the Sasha Grey effect. She a hoe, and she wants to fuck. Period.
She is a hoe.
You cannot convince me she did not sexually assault in the regular past George McFly and got knocked up.
The Sasha Grey effect.
That's what it is. Fuck Florence Nightingale.
Dude, Corey coined the new phrase. Don't use it. It's copywritten.
I guess it's entertaining for me.
By the way, if this leads to me getting a one-on-one sesh with Sasha Grey, I will do this show for the rest of my life for no money.
Hell yes.
Marty tries to have George ask Lorraine out, but Biff keeps getting in the way. And then Marty keeps stepping in. And this floods Lorraine's basement every single time. I know we've both seen this movie a million times.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds like she's on the verge of the largest orgasm of all time. Anytime Marty, he trips Biff and then runs away, and she's like, oh yeah, that's Marty McFly.
That's why this is a little known fact, and this is thanks to Amazon X-Ray. If you go back and watch the beginning, you can see the flood lines in Hill Valley in the 1980s. And that's why the town is so depressed and a piece of shit, is because Lorraine just kept flooding this town over and over and over again.
That's it. Marty ruins everybody's life.
Yeah, Lorraine is literally the reason WAP was written.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
And you need another bucket and 2 mops, because Lorraine goes to Doc's house. She follows Marty and asks Marty to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, right? And Marty introduces Doc as his uncle. And Lorraine doesn't even care that Doc's in the room, that he's family, that he's an uncle. She is literally like doing over the pants stuff in front of Doc. And she's like, dude, if you want to watch, that's cool. To go back to your earlier point, she a hoe, a big hoe.
Yeah, she want to fuck.
She don't care.
She cares a little bit because she does not want to fuck Biff.
Well, yes, obviously.
She is not into that fucking for mice and men.
But if she's into you, she down.
She totally would have been into me because she likes skinny dudes. I know that much from this.
Yeah.
All I had to do was get hit by a fucking car. And I'd have done it, Leah. I'd have done it in a second.
But it cuts from here to another bad plan. So Marty goes to George with a plan to get George to be a hero and then have Lorraine fall in love with him. So he plans to get, we'll call handsy with Lorraine at this Enchantment Under the Sea dance. And when she gets angry, he comes in, knocks Marty out to win the girl and saves Marty's existence and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
That's your plan. You couldn't come up with a better plan than I got to touch my mom's boobs or shove my hand up my mom's skirt. you grew up in the 80s, right? It's 85. You're in high school. I'm sure you and Jennifer have done some hand stuff, like whatever. You got a little experience anyway. You know your mom's a hoe up to this point. So your big master plan is like, I'm going to jam my hand up my mom's skirt and she's going to get super angry about it. She's been asking you outright to do that. That's not going to happen. She's going to get more pissed at George in this situation for interrupting what she thinks is a sure thing.
Yeah, let's not forget, she's the one that took his pants off for a head wound. She's fucking cock hungry.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Your plan to, like, no, this is just,
and by the way,
bad plan all the way around.
Before we get the comments, there's nothing wrong with that. No. I love Lorraine.
Sluts are my favorite people in the world. They're the most giving human beings on the planet, and I love every one of you.
I'm not going to judge a dude for banging around. I'm not going to judge a woman for banging around. As a matter of fact, this makes you more sexy to me.
Anybody willing to have sex with me is very sexy to me.
That's thumbs up in my book.
Yep.
That's it. But regardless, neither here nor there, this plan is dog shit. He was like, I'm going to fuck my fucking mom. And then, George, when I'm done, you come in and go, hey, grr, you shouldn't do that. Cool plan, Marty.
Yeah, this is a whole different kind of Pornhub site because it's like I'm banging my mom and right when I nut, you open the door and punch me in the face really fucking hard.
But on the night of the dance, if Marty didn't already know, his mom reveals now that she's down to clown. Marty then gets incestually assaulted by his mom. Yeah. And he gets ripped out of the car by Biff instead of George.
Lorraine also comes to her senses because we've been calling her a hoe this whole time. I will give her a lot of credit because she went in to kiss him like they were in love. And then it's like, oh my God, that was like kissing my brother. When the fuck did you kiss your brother on the lips, you fucking monster? Dude, will somebody buy this chick a dildo? Will her mom buy a cucumber? One time. Oh my God, she's a monster.
I think in 55, I think they only gave dildos to like women who were like clinically insane to like calm them down.
Here's your weight loss thing. Stand on this gigantic vibrator.
Here's your weight loss stick. Have fun with this lady.
Right.
And
then if you're married to Harrison Buckner, you just got to do the laundry.
You were correct.
After, Marty gets a little assaulted, we'll say, by his mom, and he gets ripped out of the car by Biff. Biff throws Marty over to his boys, and he's like, hey, it's rape o'clock. I'm jumping in this car with Lorraine. And his boys take Marty and lock him in the trunk of the band's car because the band for the dance is like on break. And then we have that whole little scene between them and the band.
Yep.
Whatever.
We got to go back to Biff though, because
oh no,
it's one thing to be a high school bully. This is not his first essay, and he's got a lot. He's got a lot of baby oil at home. I'm gonna put it that way.
He assaults her in the lunchroom earlier, where his hands are like all over, and she's like, "Dude, gross! Get the fuck out of here! Not only are you a big goon, you're also really stupid. Like." Ew. And he's like, oh, you want it. It's like, oh, that's in the lunchroom. And it was like, well, it was 55.
Yeah, like even Strickland, like this strict disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be seen. But I tell you what, when they throw a fucking paper airplane,
he's on it.
General Patton's on that shit.
Yeah.
By
the way, dude. I have a fan theory. It's my own fan theory. Strickland's an alien. the guy did not age from 1955 to 1985.
Yeah, I think he's God. He's the one behind all of this. He's like Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day.
I think so. He does not age. He looks exactly the same in 55 as he does in 85.
And all of his descendants look exactly the same.
Yes.
Biff looks different. Fucking Doc. Well, Doc's always Doc because we never see past Doc really, except for in 55. But like every character has different features to them. George McFly ages. Lea Thompson, Lorraine Baines ages. The brothers and sisters age. Like everybody changes except for Strickland because he's God.
He was in the makeup chair and they're like, all right, so we're in 85, so we're going to add some wrinkles. And he's like, no wrinkles. I never age.
Yep.
And they looked at the director and the director went, I mean, I guess he doesn't fucking age.
Yeah, I don't want to get yelled at by this fucking guy again. Like, let's just...
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
This guy's an asshole. He's already a bit of a problem.
Right.
Just let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. But again, I think this is everybody's favorite part. When George gets to the car, he busts in and it's Biff assaulting Lorraine. And after a bit of struggle between Biff and George knocks Biff out, takes Lorraine into the dance.
Yes.
And this is where they fall in love because he's now the hero. And they end up after a little bit of like, oh my hand.
Wow.
after a little bit of 85 CGI, they kiss and everybody
forget about
saves.
the ginger. There's a ginger attack.
Okay. We yes. So the shit on my house guy comes in at the dance. So you have the Marty McFly hand thing, like, oh, I'm dying and I'm not going to exist. And then shit on my house guy comes in and he's drunk and he like pushes George and assaults Lorraine. And I'm like, dude, I've heard of the School of Hard Knocks. Okay. That's a thing. This is the rapiest ass school. And I'm like, okay, the guys that wrote this movie, I don't know how old any of them were when they wrote this, right? So Robert Zemeckis wrote this, or one of the writers. So if they were alive in 55, if they were in high school, were all high schools this rapey in 55?
It's pretty bad.
Because Hill Valley High, that's gross.
The only place rape is accepted this willingly and just like, it's life, it's in the Bible. Hill Valley and the Bible. Those are the only two places where rape is just kind of like, maybe we can make a good joke out of it. It's fucking insane.
And the only thing worse than writing all these like little, because you didn't really need to have this in here, but George proves that it's not a one-time deal. Yeah, now he's a fucking
changed.
Now he's a tough guy. But you also have, which I didn't really think about until after I saw this, I don't know, 20, 30 times. But you have Marty playing Johnny Be Good. Mm-hmm. And you have Marvin Barry calling his cousin.
It's Marvin! Your cousin, Marvin Barry!
Yep.
And he's like, listen to this.
I love it.
And I know it was written as like a funny, but now I was like, okay, listen, we know black people invented the blues and rock. So now we're just taking credit for all that. It was like, no, this white dude from California wrote rock and roll. Dude, that's where we got that shit.
He meets a grand total of 6 black people in this movie. He gives one the idea to run for mayor and gives the other one the idea for Johnny Be Good, one of easily the greatest rock and roll songs ever made. I think this is what they call white savior complex. It's fucking insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
So we could thank the 5'4" Marty McFly.
You couldn't even let him invent La Bamba. You know what I mean? Great Balls of Fire. Like, you had to make it fucking Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, Chuck Berry never had to fight for any kind of recognition.
No, not at all.
Break.
Not at all.
No wonder he shitted on people's chests.
Hell yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So Marty gets to dock after the dance, right? And after some hijinks with the clock tower, lightning rods set up, Marty gets to the car. He gets to 88 miles an hour, hits the wire at the exact moment. It sends Marty back to 1985. But the DeLorean is such a piece of shit that it breaks down as soon as it gets to 1985, as it does. Yeah. And Marty has to run
fucking
to
car
the
can't
mall.
even travel through time. Piece of shit.
What a piece of shit. I bet you can get a fucking Kia Sorento to do that shit.
You know why I drive a Lincoln, man? Because I can travel through time, and then it's all right, all right, all right.
But so Marty, again, now because the car won't start, he's got to ditch it and run to the mall because he went 5 minutes ahead so he could save Doc.
Typical
but again,
Marty teenage time. I need 10 minutes. I'm in a time machine. I need 10. Go back a day.
Exactly.
Stop Biff from wrecking the fucking car so you can go bang out your girlfriend at the lake.
In the woods.
Get your priorities straight, bro.
Exactly, man. I would do a lot, like the day before, a week before. Just live out that week, guy.
There's a lot of shit I would change leading up to, like, you don't know that your life is fixed. You think you're... Hill Valley, by the way, looks where the McFlys have done nothing to improve their community.
No, they live in the same motherfucking house, but all of a sudden they're just wearing better clothes.
And their furniture's nicer. And the kids got off... look, Dave doesn't go from McDonald's night shift to wearing a suit and tie to the office because George punched Biff. That's not how life works. Ask me how I know.
It doesn't?
No, I've punched my own Biff, and I'm still doing a fucking YouTube show.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I didn't punch my Biff, and I'm doing a YouTube show, so...
I've had a list of Biffs that I have erased from the map. And I'm still right here.
We're in the exact same spot. I guess it doesn't matter either way.
No, I'm wearing a Slam t-shirt from Temu. This is my life.
Oh, so Marty here gets to the mall. He sees, because he's late, he sees Doc get shot. He runs down. He cries over his dead body. Doc sits up and reveals that he's alive because he read the letter Marty wrote to him about the future.
And this is the most relatable part of this entire movie. Because literally every person in the earth would have been like, Marty was acting really weird, dude. I think I die. I better tape this motherfucking letter up.
Listen,
even if it takes me the next 30 years, I'm taping this letter up.
Yeah, Marty's not acting the way Marty's acting if, like, you missed a mortgage payment. Okay? The only reason Marty's acting the way he's acting is if you fucking die. That's it.
Yeah, and let's start maybe with this in your revision note. Don't steal plutonium for Libyans. It only leads to a whole bunch of trouble.
Yes. Or you don't know what this means, but buy Nickelodeon slime and build a fake bomb for said Libyans.
Watch Nutty Professor. It will help.
But Marty wakes up the next morning to find that his father is now a successful science fiction author. His mother is fit and happy. His siblings are successful. And even though Biff attempted to rape his mom in 1955, George hired him to be his bitch boy in 1985. to like wax his car.
They probably make Biff watch him fuck outside the window just to rub it in. He's doing the American Psycho and just fucking staring at Biff the whole time.
Oh my God.
100% that's what's happening.
Okay, now if they're doing that,
freaks.
if they're doing that, that's fair. I will accept that.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you A, it was a sexual assault. B, it could have been rape. We don't know that for sure. But now we're like, hey, you know what? We need our car washed and waxed. We're going to... Biff owns his own company. On the side of the truck, it says like Biff's Auto Body or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. Hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we call that dude that tried to bully me in high school, that sexually assaulted you? I think he'll do a really good job.
Yeah, Biff, what a character. Always trying to get away with something.
And by the way, he doesn't because he's still trying to lie about that second coat of wax.
Yes.
You fucker.
But the movie here ends with Marty and Jennifer. Doc suddenly shows up in the DeLorean. He tells them that they need to come with him to the future to save their children from awful fates and their kids are assholes or whatever. So where they're going, they don't need roads because they're going to 2015 where apparently there was fucking flying cars and I'm still pissed I didn't get my flying car.
I'm more upset that I didn't get the Jaws movie that had the hologram come out and fight you. I've been fine with that. Or the clothes that dry you off. Like drying mode on. That would have been the shit because I have a leaky bladder. And I need this shit dried quick. You know how expensive it is to change clothes every 5 fucking minutes?
I know we don't have a sponsor, but I hear Depends is looking for one, Corey.
I'm not wearing a diaper. I'd rather piss myself.
Thanks for watching Kiss the Reviews. Brought to you by Depends.
Go fuck yourself, Depends. It's in your hands.
Are you a grown man that has little leaky times?
Yeah. I'm none of those things. I'm a child with a childlike bladder who pisses himself every 15 minutes.
Hey, got to do what you got to do to get through life, man.
Yep. I will say this, just to end it. I know we were, some people may be like, the saucer gray effect. To be fair, if I were back in time and I was Marty J. McFly, what I would have done would have been called the John Holmes effect. Because I would have got hit by the car, done a fuckload of cocaine, killed everybody in the house, and robbed it.
Hell yes.
That's I think this movie needs a rewrite.
Yep.
And now it's a horror movie.
Instead of the Wonderland murders, it would have been the Hill Valley murders.
I like it.
So, see, I could be fair. She's a slut. I'm a little bit worse. Just a little bit, because the Bible doesn't really not like murder. But they fucking hate sluts.
No, dude, I know we've said this. We've said it in the pre-show. We said it in some of the parts, the Patreon parts of the review. I love this movie. This is as much as there's holes in the story and all that stuff. This is just a fun movie that you can put on whenever and have a good time. Michael J. Fox lends him, like, he lends to this movie being as fun as it is, because every character he plays in any movie, TV show, whatever, he just makes it a little bit more fun. And back in the 80s, he was like, hey, we need a guy to make this kind of there's a lot of incest in this movie. We need to make this a little lighthearted. Call Michael J. Fox. Like, that was immediately who you got for something like this. But he made it just a fun movie. All the casting in this is freaking fantastic. Mm-hmm. The Christopher Lloyd as Doc, like, just those two, Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox, just teamed up together for this franchise was amazing.
Oh yeah, like, look, dude, you don't know fucking Crispin Glover because of the rap movie Willard. You know him because of this.
Yes.
Even if you're like, oh, I saw him in a movie randomly. You saw George McFly in a movie. Very few people understood Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
Kind of because he's like one of the, I'm a thespian. Get the fuck out of here, Daniel Day-Lewis. Eat shit. But like Lea Thompson is iconic as the mom.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody in the quotables in this movie are insane.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is still talked about, like even in Avengers Infinity War. They brought up Back to the Future to show the difference in their two time travel things. Like, this movie is the definition of iconic. And
Absolutely.
Michael J. Fox, he's a fucking American treasure. And I highly recommend this because everybody likes to be like, oh, Michael J. Fox and his Parkinson's. Watch the season he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Because he fucking... That's how you have a fucking disease and owned that shit. He was so good. And Larry and him were
crushed
fantastic.
it. He crushed it. In that.
Nothing but respect for a dude like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But no, I mean, dude, at the end of the day, I know Jim requested this on Patreon. We've had other people since then ask us if we were going to do the franchise. Yeah, we're going to do them all. We're going to eventually get to them. This is obviously the staple, you know, this is the best one out of all of them. They get a little bit more ridiculous as they go on, as most franchises, especially like in the 80s did. You did a sequel, it was a little bit more ridiculous. And then the third was even more. But these are all fun movies. And this one's just fucking fantastic. I could put this on if I'm taking a nap, if I want to watch a movie, if I want to clean the house. Like there's certain movies you just got to be in a certain mood to watch. This one, I could literally be doing anything. If it's on in the background or I'm actually paying attention to it, I could watch it anytime.
Yeah, for me, this is definitely if it's on. Like, I don't really have a hankering to see Back to the Future. And the reason for that is simply because I know it. As Armando said earlier in the show, I didn't need to watch this to know every single scene that happens. Because I think in 1985, I was 8 years old. I guarantee you I saw this when I was 8 years old. And I pretty much have subsequently seen it every year since then. At least once. Yeah, so I just, you know, it's this Ghostbusters. They're just certain 80s iconic movies that you just have ingrained in your memory.
Yep. This is one of those.
But you'll watch, you'll turn it on anytime it's on.
This one, because you mentioned Ghostbusters too. This one and Ghostbusters kind of live in the same universe with me.
Yep.
I'll go a while without seeing them. I've seen them both a million times, but I'll go a while without seeing them and I'll be like, oh, somebody will either bring it up or I'll see something and I'm like, oh, fuck, I haven't watched that movie in a while. And then I'll turn it on. Yep. I won't just naturally search it out. It's got to be a minute since I've seen it and I'll put it on. But this movie's freaking brilliant. I love this movie.
Yep. Everything about it's great. And look, everybody makes fun of the incest stuff and all this stuff. Dude, the 80s were what we talked about 16 Candles having such a low rating. And it like opens up in the like locker room with just full bush shots and grandpa's honking tits and like it's a wild time, dude. There were some crazy movies.
The incest parts of this weren't the craziest shit in the 80s. You had Weekend at Bernie's where they literally carried a corpse around.
Yep.
And
a chick
somebody banged the corpse.
Yeah.
This is not the craziest thing in a movie in the 80s, for sure. No. So this was actually pretty tame for the 80s.
Porky's was tame compared to what actual Weekend at Bernie's is. Porky's is just a bunch of fucking kids trying to get laid. Weekend at Bernie's is some diabolical shit.
Yeah. No,
like
absolutely.
You can go to jail for every single thing that happens in Weekend at Bernie's.
Absolutely.
You're getting grounded for most of the things that happened in Porky's.
Yeah. Yeah. But with that said, man, I don't got anything else. You got anything else for this?
No.
All right. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1985's Back to the Future.
And your mom trying to bang you is the power of love. That's what Huey Lewis was thinking about the whole time.